YouTube channel. Tell us about it and what you do and how you do it.
Well, I was a writer, and I used to write in blogs, and then I shifted my focus to Facebook. Since 2010, I was active in Facebook, and I started gradually writing on several social issues, human rights issues. But, Facebook has got some limitations, and they have very strict content restriction, and it's extremely difficult to continue an activism that we do on this platform. I used to face frequent bans and removal of my contents. And we had been fighting a fascist regime, and the images that I share, that I want to share, sometimes they say that it violates the community guidelines, and it has been removed. So what I discovered that probably this is not the right place to continue this activism. So then I shifted to YouTube, and it became the primary platform for communication for my message and my activism.
And I mentioned it, 3 million viewers.
More than
huge,
3 million, yes.
Well, what about your critics? I mean, there are critics, aren't there, who say it's very populist, it's a bit over the top.
The thing is that, the personality that I project on YouTube, it's a bit different than what I am really. So it's a created personality. So since I'm a writer, I am a storyteller. I tell stories in my YouTube channel. The stories that should evoke some emotion, and I provide some purpose. So that's the three magic recipe of my episodes. The first thing is that the personality that I created, it resonates with the common people's aspiration. I use a very strong provincial accent, which people can connect very easily. And I do have a target audience. I do activism for the poor people, and I align myself with the people who don't have. So that's how it becomes so popular, because every time, always, it's have-nots have the absolute majority.
Yeah. Let's talk about your book as well, Fulkamari. It's the tale of a refugee and a rat in pandemic Paris, and it tells the story of that refugee from Bangladesh who finds himself alone in his apartment with this tiny rat, and he tells it, doesn't it? Tales of his past, of revolution, famine, war, as well as culture.
Yes. So, that story started from the very first day of lockdown, COVID lockdown. And I was alone in my apartment. And, for everybody, COVID was a special time. But for me, I had another layer of confinement and isolation, because I'm a refugee and I'm already uprooted from my homeland, and I'm trying to integrate myself to a new society which I barely know. And that's the period where another layer of restriction was imposed due to COVID. So that led me to a self-reflection, and self-reflection took a path of a mythical journey with a rat that was entrapped in my apartment during that period. So I considered that rat as a superior being, reminiscent of the Arabian Nights, and she will decide whether I'll survive next morning based on the story that I'll be telling to her. So I started telling her stories, my stories, starting from childhood. So my story is not only my story, it's the story of my country, my people. And that's how I tried to uncover some deep sorrows of my nation. I believe that, unless we have a deep sorrow that resonates everyone's aspiration, we don't challenge the way we live. So I tried to uncover the deep sorrow through this journey with this rat during this COVID period. So that was the primary objective of my book. And everyone said that, while reading this book, they sensed the deep melancholy, that melancholy is universal, that could connect with every people. And I also tried to uncover some issues to open a conversation with the world that what we have our nation, our culture, our history has to offer to the world to resolve their challenges they're facing today.
Good to talk to you on the programme. Good to hear your creativity as well through the YouTube channel, through the book as well. Pinaki Bhattacharya, thank you very much.